Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Rising Spivey Show. I have the pleasure of sitting with Kool Craze. Thank you for being here today, sir.
Thank you for having me.
How you doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
How does it feel? How old are you now?
I'm 23.
How does it feel to be 23?
Feels the same way it felt when I was 22.
Well, I heard you off camera mention that it's Michael Jordan's number, so this is a special year for you.
Yeah, Michael Jordan wore the 23, so I felt like if I'm going to wear 23, then I got to definitely sport it.
All right.
Then when I turn 24, I'm going to find who wore that number, and I'm going to keep doing it for the consecutive.
Tell me about, you are an artist, a rapper, a hip-hop artist. Tell me about how you got into music.
Basically, my brother used to DJ. He was a big DJ fan, man. He had all the DJ DVDs, everything. So he DJ'd this record by Biz Markie. It's called Make the Music Where Your Mouth Is, But Your Mouth Biz. And the song he says, when you hear me do it, you'll be shocked and amazed. It's the brand new beatbox called Beatbox Craze. Mm-hmm. And my brother used to mix the craze part. Mm-hmm. Didn't know what craze meant at all. So I was like, I like that. That should be like my rap name. And my brother was like, well, before you have a rap name, you got to rap first. So I was like, cool. Since I like the name, that's what I'm going to do.
Kool Craze.
There
and
it
that's
goes.
C and Craze is with a K.
Yeah.
All right.
Craze is with a C.
Oh.
Cool is with a K. So
okay.
It's cool with a K, craze with a C.
Oh, I've had it backwards all that time. Thank you.
A lot of people do. A lot of people
getting
do.
me straight with that. Okay, so tell me now, where are you from?
I'm from Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Okay, and what are your musical influences? Who do you listen to that inspires you?
I listen to Nicki and the Dove, Robin. I listen to Of Monsters and Men. Listen to Modest. I listen to a lot of things that is really not hip hop. Mm-hmm. It's kind of
like. What kind of music is that you were to say? More
so like some of it's rock, some of it's pop, a lot of it's indie. A lot of it's by artists that really are not mainstream on your Billboard or your top 100. And the reason being of that is because if I listen to just hip hop, then I'll end up sounding just hip hop. If I listen to what's on the radio, I'll end up sounding what's on your radio. So if I let the outside influence me, one of us is going to help each other. You know what I'm saying? I'll either get on and I'll feature one of them and other people will know about them, or they'll get on and they'll feature me and other people know about me. So I listen to a lot of that and I try to incorporate that inside of what I do.
Well, how would you describe your music? Because I said hip-hop earlier, but I think I wouldn't really put you in that genre specifically. How would you describe your music?
I mean, I would describe it the same way you would describe, when you say Van Gogh, you say painter, you say artist. That's it. He wasn't a Caucasian painter, he wasn't a black painter or African American, he was a painter. He was an artist. That's it. I would describe my music as just being music. You know, I don't like to put a brand on it because sometimes it's not hip hop, sometimes it's pop, sometimes it's rock, sometimes it's country, sometimes it's jazz, sometimes
Even
it's bluegrass.
Country? That's interesting.
I do all around, and I just want to do music, just like I look at people as people. People say don't look at another person as like color or try to like separate them from you or say, oh, he's white or he's black or he's Chinese. We're all people. So I feel like if we're all people, why not we just make music?
Well, have you had any trouble with individualizing yourself?
Yeah.
Because it seems usually people associate rap and hip hop. They're not going to assume or even consider that there's a hip hop or a rap artist, an artist that raps that does country.
Yeah.
So have you had a trouble, or has there been any challenge with individualizing
Fredericksburg, Virginia is a small city. I don't know if you've ever been there, but Fredericksburg, Virginia it's full of a lot of country folk.
Okay.
So doing country, it's praised, you know what I'm saying, that more so with the hip hop is where you got the problem at, or where you have the problem at. So I don't really, when I go to different cities, maybe like Atlanta or been to Cali and been a lot of different places in the U.S., it's hard for some people to adapt it. And it's crazy because we segregated in clubs. That's what it is. It's different clubs are segregated. It's you go to this club, it's hip hop. You won't go to a hip hop club and then hear Taylor Swift. It's not going to happen. Right. So you either have to go to where Taylor Swift is being played at, or you have to go to where your hip hop club is, where it's more urban, more upbeat or club music. So depending on the environment, I will have to adapt with it. And I guess that's where my chameleon comes in, because I'm able to adapt with different places I go to. Jazz, my manager has a problem with that sometimes because I'm changing up my performance every time. He wants me to keep it the same, but it's hard because you go into a hip-hop club and you try that country, it's like, what is this?
So how was it received? How do they, and I understand you definitely have to adapt. So do they receive it well? Do they understand it? Does it take, well, because I know that you all travel a lot, so you go to different places. So tell me about the scene and it being received when you go out of town.
It depends, man. Like I've had people receive it in a bad way, and that's because I just kind of just go in there and just do it. Doesn't really matter where I'm at. I just do my music, and then I don't change myself. So I don't want the audience to feel like I have to change the way I act or change what type of music I do because I'm going into a different type of club or a different type of event. I don't. It's just like I have a collage of all this music. So I say, where are we going today? We're going to Atlanta? I go to the Atlanta collage. Or where we going today? We going to like different, like Nashville, Tennessee. I go to my Nashville collage. So it's kind of, you know how people are when they don't want to hear something.
Sure. Well, and that's the part of the grind.
Yeah.
Tell me how it is with being your own artist, you know, not being influenced by what this person does and that person does, but for what you do, it seems like you are an individual.
Yes, ma'am.
Give them, don't call me ma'am, I ain't that old, man.
It's a habit.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a habit.
It's respect, I'm just teasing. But tell me, you know, because there are a lot of people that want to rap, and there are a lot of artists out there that are in the game. What would be your advice to them to say, be true to yourself, stay who you are, because that seems to be what you're doing?
My advice to them is definitely they have to realize, see, a lot of people when they give advice, they make it seem like they were born perfect, and I wasn't. I didn't start coming out to being who I want to be until after I've gotten out of high school. I always had that mentality that I had to entertain people. That was part of my problem in high school. My principals called it a problem. Every time I would come, everybody knew in the morning Craze was rapping in the cafeteria. Everybody knew at lunch Craze raps in the cafeteria. And everybody knew at the end of the day he raps at the bus stop. So I was their entertainment. Didn't do no schoolwork, didn't do anything, just worried about entertaining and worried about people liking me. I wore, if that person was wearing that and that's the new fashion, I begged my mom to get me that fashion because that's what everybody likes. It took a minute. And actually, I thank Lady Gaga for this because when she came out and she just started being outrageous, what they call it, and just wearing some weird things, what they call it. Again, these are not my words, these are theirs. When she started doing a lot of that stuff, it made me feel like, you know, why live your life for somebody else when you could just live it how you want to? Ever since then, you'll catch me wearing whatever I want to wear. Man, I put on the most outrageous glasses, or I put on just whatever I want, and it makes me feel good because now I don't feel like I'm have to wear what everybody else is wearing. So.
Okay, now I want to debut on the Rise and Spivey Show your new song. First of all, tell me about this single.
Possession of Dance.
I heard it. I love it.
Thank you very much. A lot of people are really liking it. They're playing it a lot of places, the clubs. They're playing it in living rooms. They're playing it in cars, basement. They clean their cars with it. And Possession of Dance came along very simple. I sat there. It's politics year. Everybody knows the year of the politics, where we have Obama, and then we have, you know, him. Yeah.
Him.
Yeah. So we have the politics, and with that, everybody's getting wrapped in it. We have the 2012 conspiracy that's coming up in December, so everybody's like, you know, what's going to happen on that date? I wrote it, and I said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to just put this to the side, and we're going to dance. We're going to just dance all your problems away. That's why the song is more so directed to different people and different troubles. You know what I'm saying? Like in the first verse when I say, to the man unknown that went back home and saw his place was robbed, meaning to the person that came home and saw all of his stuff was gone in the house. You know what mind state he's going to be in. This is for you. Just dance it out. A lot of people box or they hit a punching bag to get their anger out, and I feel like dancing, maybe that'll be a good way to do it.
That's my stress reliever.
Yeah, it's a lot of people's stress reliever.
Right now we are going to hear Possession of Dance. Here's a snippet by Kool Craze. Stay tuned.
This one goes out to the proud dad and the full-time working mom with the business shirt that she wore to work on the day she lost her job. To the man unknown that went back home and found his place was robbed. To the one we know supposed to show but didn't have a date to prom. It's on tonight. Tonight we party. Tonight we in the moment. Don't gotta show up. Don't go nowhere. 'Cause the party's where your home is. For your boyfriends or your girlfriend that text you where you going. Respond with LMFAO. You sexy and you know it. So show it. 'Cause you've been in the dark, but now you shine.
tuned to the Rising Spivey Show. I am in the studio with Kool Craze, and we just heard his new single, Possession of Dance. I want you to tell me about being on 106 in Park.
106 in Park. That's one of my favorite topics, and you're about to be the first one that I've actually been able to say this. And this question is always asked from a lot of fans, and I told them I was going to be on your show, so I wanted them to understand I'm going to answer this question. My experience on being on 106 in Park was a determination. I was definitely determined to become champion, and that's what God made me, 106 in Park champion. Since I was...
How did it feel in that moment to be, because everybody knows 106 in Park,
it felt great.
Friday.
Like
was
I
it
said,
like?
my brother, he used to watch Jen. He was one of the older 106 in Park champions, and he was like, Travis, one day you're going to be 106 in Park. I was like, I'm going to be. He was like, all right. So my brother, he's a Marine out there in California right there. He's a sergeant. So he does his military thing, and he was like, you better get on 106 in Park. You better be out there becoming 106 in Park champion. So I said, I'm going to do it. So I went to 106 in Park. He was front and center on the television. Everybody was front and center, and I won. And you could tell on the TV when I won it, I was excited. I was like, yes, like I finally won. I'm just getting excited now thinking about it. So I finally won it. But after that, I was like I was voted off, or the other guy won. Put it that way.
So you had to come back and compete again. The next person comes.
They take, when you lose, you lose. But since I was the champion, they put me back on the next year to go against a different person. So I had 3 battles on 106 in Park.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. So how does this work? You won. Is this still Freestyle Friday? Is that what I'm talking about?
Yes, it's still Freestyle Friday.
So you won that week. Then you come back the next week, or you came back a whole year later?
I won that week. I came back the following week. I lost. So then I came back a year later to compete in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So how was that, competing in the Hall of Fame?
I lost that one too.
That seems very honorable, though.
Yeah, I lost that one too, and I prayed that night. I told God I didn't really want to be seen as a battle MC. I had at least 10 years under my belt of battling. I think I battled everybody there was to battle around my time in Virginia itself. DC, I've won titles. In Maryland, I've won like titles in clubs and things like that. I even got a tattoo off of just battling from Virginia. And I was done with the battling. I wanted to be who I wanted to be, an artist. So I felt when I lost, a lot of people were disappointed. A lot of people from my home was very disappointed in me that I lost, but I was happy because I was like, great. So they're not going to see me as a battle artist. They're not going to see, okay, he's hip-hop, he just battles, and that's all he does. They're going to see me as a musician. I used that as a stepping stone to put it under my belt that, hey, I became 106 in Park champion. I was
That's
the first.
That's a pretty great thing to add to your resume.
The first person from my city to ever become champion, so that was good to put on there. And it was a good moment, and I took it while it lasted, and that's all I can say about that.
Big lights, big cameras, huge audience.
Yeah.
Was there any anxiety when you got up there to perform?
No, I kind of
knowing that it's broadcast worldwide.
When I battle, man, I have a different mentality. I have different mentalities when I'm doing different things. Like sitting with you, I have a mentality to make you interested in my life, or get you interested in what I'm doing, or make you a fan. That's my mentality. When I get on a battling mentality, I have a mentality that I am at the top of the food chain, and I have that mentality that this person is trying to come in my castle and try to take over. So I'm not nervous.
So you're just going to beast mode.
Yeah, I'm not nervous at all. I just need to attack you like quick. That's not my mentality. So when I got on there, I was ready to go, and you can tell the first time I battled, you can tell it was Terrence the host of 106 Park. Him and Roxy was just like,
they went crazy.
Like, yes, that's it. But the next time I came, I wasn't as confident. I was kind of like,
well, why is that?
It's because I was in between the question, asking myself, do I want to continue and being a battle artist, and that's what they're going to see you as, Travis, or do you want to just kind of let it go here and be a musician? Because this is never going to, you've always been 106 in Park. It's not going to take anything from me. It's in history. It's not going away. I made that. So it's like, do I want to keep going or do I want to stop? And like I said, I leave everything, anytime I have a decision, I leave it in God's hands, 100%. And I told him, I said, if this is not right for me, make me lose. And so be it. When I lost, I was proud because I knew who did it. I knew God was like, got you. that's what you.
You've gone on to do some wonderful things. Tell us
Yes,
about
ma'am.
your foundation.
I have a foundation, and it's just to help bullying. It's a lot of bullying around in my hometown area, it's Fredericksburg again, and it happens in a lot of schools. It happens around the world, period. But I feel that before I can go help the world, I need to help where I'm from, and I want to give back as much as I can to my hometown. Because it's a lot of hatred. People got to understand, as an artist, your hometown hates you first before anybody else does.
What's that about? I've heard that before, especially in the DMV area. It seems really hard for some artists to pop here, but they can go and be received and loved in other places.
Yes, ma'am. I went.
You called me
yeah,
ma'am
I
again.
mean, yeah. I
okay.
went out to Cali, and when I went out to Cali to perform for the fashion show, they loved me. I stepped on the stage, and I felt like I've been doing this for years, and they knew me. When I go back home, it's more so of, here he is. You know, here he go again. Like that's the type of feel they give me. And I don't know what it's about. I cannot answer your question of what it's about. And I feed off of it. I'm not going to lie. I throw stones at a couple of people. I make fun of it a little bit. And I'm saying, I say certain things to people like, what you going to do about it? Because I'm on the end where I'm just like, if you hate me, you hate me. I can't fix that. So I'm not going to be on Facebooks or Twitters trying to fix it or trying to make all these people love me. They're going to love me one way or another.
Tell us about Dreamer Management.
Dreamer Management is the best company that I've ever been with.
Shout out to Jazz.
Yeah, shout out to Jazz. He's the greatest manager I've ever had. I had a couple of managers, but Jazz is definitely about his business. To make a long story short, Dreamer Management is his company, and by him having me as a player in his team, let's go back to the birthday statement. I'm 23 now, so I'm going to play like him. So that's all I got to say. As far as Dreamer Management, I'm Michael Jordan for Dreamer Management. That's what I do.
What is the importance to, because I have a lot of artists and people that watch the show that are aspiring, how important is it for an artist to have management?
It's very important.
Because I don't think a lot of people understand.
No, they really don't.
Those
and
dots.
when we say management to the people out there, we mean management, not your friend next door and he gonna walk with you and yes, that's my manager just because he's gonna stand beside me. We mean management, somebody that knows the business. And it's hard to find managers out here because every manager wants to be an artist. So they got their hands in your music and trying to feature in your music, and they just don't know their role that they're trying to play. In Jazz, he knows his role. Like, he has the business down pat. And with my manager having the business down pat, I can focus in on the music. You know, every artist should know that it's 90% business in the music industry, 10% music. And what I mean by that is 90% of this is business. 90% of this is book work. 90% of this is interviews, is sponsors, is all that type of business stuff. And you have to have that adequate about yourself in these business environments. And having a manager there makes you look 100% better.
A representation,
yes,
for sure.
A representation by you. And if he knows the business and you know the business, there's no stopping you or your manager.
Well, tell me now, I ask all of my guests before we close, before we wrap, what is the Kool Craze brand? When people think of Kool Craze, what do you imagine, or what would you like them to imagine?
Human. That's the only thing. I just want to leave it with human. And I say that because celebrity status. I go home and he has money now. I go home and he's too better. I've had people say I'm too good to even shop at the store that I was at. I've been in grocery stores and they try to chase me out because they say I'm too good to be in the store, or I'm Hollywood now. Human is the way I want them to think. We are people. That's it. We're no different from the guy that works at the 7-Eleven or the guy that works at Walmart. That's just their job. And this is just my job. And I do it well, and I love doing my job. But I'm also human. I make mistakes. And I want them to keep human in the back of their mind, because this is my first year really in the industry. And if they don't keep human in the back of their mind, I'm going to fail in their minds, because I don't doubt that I'm not going to run into media problems. Every artist does. So I'm ready for it. I just want my fans to be ready for it too. And when they see it, keep human in the back of their mind.
Well, I think that the sky's the limit for you. You seem like an awesome brother.
Thank
you got
you.
a plan going on.
Thank you.
I love the song.
Thank
and
you.
I wish you the very best. Thank you for stopping by the
Thank you.
Rising Spivey Show.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. And thank you all for staying tuned. We'll see you next time.